Welcome back to Doing Bart Things, and in this glorious episode, we're going to look at Computex stuff. So we're going to go, well, let's see. Let's do the count here. Let's see. I've got four things that are hot and three things that are cold that I'm just not feeling, and I'll kind of go into a little bit of the reasons why, and we'll keep this going pretty quickly so that way you guys can kind of keep up with it. So I've not posted a video in a while, which is sort of my lot in life at the moment, but hopefully we'll, as time wears on and maybe work slows down, we'll be able to post more. But anyway, basically there's some things that I really like from Computex I think are good, and then there's some things that I'm like, no, not really about it. We're going to start with the good things. So get the good news out of the way. Ryzen 9000 series. Right about where we thought it would be. Sort of where a lot of the more consistent leaks sort of had it overall. As far as performance. Now, keep in mind, this is really important. These are AMD's benchmarks. Okay? This is super important because we don't know what they did with the comparison CPU and their CPU. Okay, really important that you understand. They're not going to show their product in a negative light, so they're going to basically choose the thing that puts them in the best light. Okay, this is their benchmark suite. I am positive they handpicked some of this. The claim that is made is overall, if you average everything together, roughly a 16% uplift, I believe, per an IPC. It's really important, like I said, that's what they're claiming. They've got some numbers here. I don't doubt that necessarily these are probably pretty close, but I suspect they probably will vary wildly depending on your configuration. One thing that makes me question a little bit is just how, linear some of these 1400K benches are versus the 9950X versus 1400K. So I'm a little bit like maybe there's something kind of going on there, but again, they're going to cherry pick the benchmarks they want, right? But we know that the claim overall is something like 16% IPC uplift, and there are some more tweaks I believe that they made efficiency wise inside the core. So not a lot to report home about necessarily. It'll fit an AM5, so that's good. The backward compatibility is maintained, which is important for a lot of people. And you see here Zen, Zen 2, Zen 3, Zen 4, and then Zen 5 as far as their overall numbers. So pretty nice. You can see here where the uplift over Zen 4 is fairly significant in some cases. So yeah, I would say that's probably a success. Does this mean that they're going to blow Air Lake out of the water with this? No, it doesn't. What it does mean is that this is kind of the basics that you can sort of plan on getting a gaming uplift of another 15% over Zen 4 from this, probably for the X3D chips. Maybe more, maybe less. Really hard to say at this exact moment because we don't know. We know, or at least have a really good idea that they will do a Vcache chip version of these CPUs, but we know very little about what that's going to entail necessarily. There's people out there saying 40% and stuff. People were saying 40% on the 9000 series over the previous gen 7000 series. I even made a video about that. Like, wow, if they do that, that would be crazy. But I didn't think it would come to pass, and sure enough, it didn't. But we can absolutely see in some things they got a massive increase. I think that speaks to some of the optimizations they made. So it'll all come down to price. I mean, like it always does, right? If they charge too much, then nobody will buy it because why do I care about 16% more performance? Um, why not go bargain hunting for the earlier chips? 7000 series works. The 14900K exists. These are all good processors today. They will be good for a while yet, so there's no reason to go upgrade just yet, I would say. But for those, maybe you're on a 5000 series, maybe you're on the series before that was a 3000 series, maybe you've got an older, 11th gen Intel chip or something like that. I would say, yeah, you're probably about time to upgrade CPU wise. And as long as these are not too expensive, then that would probably be your next upgrade, and you'd probably be happy because you know that I have heard rumor mill leak that Zen 6 will absolutely be available on AM5. So I would say this could be a solid investment. Again, we'll wait until July when they actually announce pricing. Pricing is going to depend very heavily on what Intel does. We're going to talk about Intel here in a minute. With Arrow Lake, I said Lunar Lake, I think in the last video. That was a mistake. Maybe I didn't, but Arrow Lake is the CPU that they're working on currently. Is going to replace, supposed to replace the 14th gen. How is that going to compare to this? I don't know. I've heard pretty big claims. I honestly think it's probably going to be pretty close to this. But you will be able to buy these plenty in advance of an Arrow Lake CPU. And the thing to remember is AMD will have a Vcache version of these chips, which theoretically could be basically way better. Maybe not. Again, I'll refer to, there are some people out there who claim, frame drops and stuff like that. For 98% of the population, I would say an X3D chip, including myself, is just fine. I've had no problems. But then again, I'm not super damn competitive when I game, so I'm just trying to have a good time, and that may be part of it. These chips do appear to be pretty well off in the power department, so I reckon that they won't be so bad to cool. So yeah, that's good. Like, I don't have any problem with this. It was what we expected. We got what we expected. All we're waiting for now is to see what they decide on the price. It'll get released in July. I think everybody's happy. So good job. Well played, AMD. This time. And before you make any purchasing decisions, pricing, reviews. If this thing starts blowing up motherboards or something, obviously you don't want that. So when people get their hands on it, hopefully we'll get an idea from your gamers Nexuses and stuff how they work. But that's kind of the deal now. So not bad. What else is hot? Man, Lian Li, they know how to make some cases, and I know you're seeing like some 011s, but that's not what I'm most interested in. So the Landcool 217. We got wood. We got wood. I love the look of this case. And it's essentially, it's a 216. It's been refitted for the wood. It just goes with side ports now, which I really like because those are closer to your desk. It has all of the features that the 216 has. It even has some more. So the 217 has has 170 millimeter fans in the front. So the fans are actually a little bigger than in the 216. It has dust filters. The dust filters are on the back side of the fans, and Lian Li's trying to be, this is kind of like for those folks that really want to do their best to keep particles out of their components versus the end-all be-all performance, right? So it's got filters on the back of those big fans. You can remove them, obviously, and then have a mesh front with those fans like that. That is an option. The other little quirk about this case is there is a reverse button for the fans. So you can hit reverse and they will try to expunge some of the dust so you can clean it easier. It's kind of interesting. I am honestly not sure how exactly practical that is or if that works at all. I can't really and won't really put a lot of emphasis on that because no idea. But I can tell you the 216 is one hell of a case. This is roughly based around the 216, but with what I would consider probably better aesthetics and wood, gives it a bit more of a premium feel. It's got 170 millimeter fans, which, I don't know if that's necessary, but they probably move as much or more air than the 160s do. It comes with air filters, so that's good. That gives you the option of running something that will help keep particles out of your PC. I mean, there's nothing to hate about it. It looks to me like a really good case. I actually like the look of it more than a 216 a little bit because I'm older and I'm not into the big old blingy bling these days. But if you are, 216 is your jam. Any case that's based around the 216, I am going to probably give a good recommendation to simply because the 216 is just one of those cases where it's like, well, I mean, for $100, you obviously go buy that. It's that good. So this obviously is going to be probably a good airflow case that will keep your components cool, but it's also got a little more grown-up aesthetic, and I like that. I don't know if I'd recommend it over the 216 for everybody. It's $120, it looks like. So, yeah, you're spending 10, maybe 20 more bucks to get the wood. That's not bad. That's really not bad. Lian Li is killing it there. So the 216, the 217, I would say is a hot. Now, the Landcool 207. Okay, 207. All right. This little case, I just said how much I like the 217. I may even like the 207 more. And I like it because it's $80 and it's smart. It's a smart little case. So in this picture, you see if it's a full-size motherboard, it's probably like a 4080 or 4090 on its side. Fits it, no problem, right? If you notice, if you look down here, you can see there's mesh on the bottom side underneath the glass. And you can see like a solid panel there. Well, if you look, you can tell that the power supply is here. Okay? Now, why would they do that? Here's why they would do that. They moved it out of the way so that way the fans that are here, okay, can just pull all the air that they want through the mesh. It's a great plan. I'm really curious. I know somebody's going to review this and get an idea of like what sort of temps you can pull. Your GPU temps ought to be super low. I think it will be better than the cases with the fans mounted on top of the power supply shrouds because this removes the power supply as as something that basically robs any airflow from underneath the case. This is the solution to that. And better yet, because they moved it up here, they recessed the motherboard tray. The motherboard tray kind of goes lower. They moved the motherboard down, and you have room for, I think they said something like 65 inches up in the top to get an AIO in. So you can absolutely use a pretty good size AIO. Would have to see the Arctic Freezer 3, I think it's 3, is 68 millimeters. I don't know, with the fans. I don't know if that would fit. So that might have a problem. But any other AIO pretty much that is, 30 millimeters in radiator itself or so, along with 25 millimeter fans, no problem. You should be able to chunk it right up there. In this case, it's pretty compact. It's actually about roughly, if you look in this picture, and man, I am like spitballing this, Looks like it's about the same height as a 011, which is not a very tall case, but it's compact because the power supply fits up in the front that way. Really cool design. I love front-mounted power supply cases when they're done right. Like I really looked long and hard at the Johnsbow D41 when I was looking for a case, because it had the power supply kind of in the middle, if you will, where kind of these fans are. I think this is a really smart design. Lian Li, again, this is crushing it, is what this is. This is a really smart design. This is a cost-effective case. I bet it cools really well for the fans it comes equipped with. You can throw a 240, 360 AIO on the roof, and I think you'll be very happy with how that case is. It's $80. It's not overly expensive. It comes with 4 fans. So you get the 2 fans down here in the bottom, and you get the 2 fans in the front, I believe, is what they said. So, yeah, it includes this many fans. So, it's hard to go wrong. I even think I maybe kind of want one because I see a little spot where your Funko Pop might go. If you happen to have a Godzilla Funko Pop like I do, and want to place him in his rightful place, I see a spot to do that. So, I just think it's pretty clever design. It makes for a compact case. It can breathe really well. I don't see how this couldn't necessarily be a winner. So that's definitely hot. Okay, next up, Montech. Let me repeat that. Montech. They're also killing it. So I would advise go watch Gear Seeker's Montech case video. It was really cool. Montech actually did a collaboration with him, and he has a really emotional moment where he's like, "Oh my gosh, I have a case that has Gear Seeker's little emblem on it," and I thought that was really cool. So I will probably put the link to this down in the description. I think that was really awesome. It was awesome for Montech to do that, and yeah, Montech is serious. They are going after it. This little case, these shown here, I really like. It's got really nice glass that's rounded, which other case manufacturers are doing, and I also like it there as well. But you see the mesh down here, so you know that they probably have figured out a way that they can fit the power supply in, and then the fans can breathe freely from the lower chamber, which I think, again, is a cool design move. I'm all in favor of that because, you've got all these cases that have, again, fans on their CPU shroud or PSU shroud. They don't really do anything because they're choked off by the power supply. They're in a bad location, etc. And I think some of these case manufacturers are doing something about that, so you can get those fans in down there. And I think that's great. I think it's good. But I really like the look of this case. Here's that's a different one. Maybe kind of a look there. So anyway, I kind of think they really have got some cool stuff. It's just sort of all of it, really. He kind of goes down through the cases, and I really think Montech is serious, and they're trying to be good. And I do think, they should be kind of on your watch out and see list, even if you're someone who likes more established cases like fractal design and stuff. Keep your eyes open for this because I think their cases look pretty good. They've got a mITX case now that looks crazy. It's got some crazy materials on it, and a handle. Awesome. So anyway, maybe check out that video. There's just a lot here for me to go one by one, and this video is already going to be long enough as it is, so I'm not sure if I need to do that. Moving on. Last thing that's hot. Antec. So Antec has this little mini ITX case that I think is going to be pretty cool. It's got premium materials. It looks like another Gear Seekers video. Decided to include him. He's just so amped because he got a case with his logo on it. made by a manufacturer. That's pretty awesome. Um, but yeah, Antec is also another one to kind of keep an eye out for. I don't think they're the place that Montech is yet. I think Montech is seemingly kind of doing it right so far, but maybe pretty soon here in the future, Antec probably is somebody you should keep your eyes on when you're going to build, to have an idea about some enclosures, as they seem to be coming along and making some stuff as well. So, all right, let's change gears. What's cold? What am I not high on? Lian Li, funny enough. So I just can't get around this case. They're displaying this at Computex, and I thought it was an interesting case to talk about once upon a time. I did a video on it when they had it at Computex. I think it was last year. It's kind of out there this year, and I saw it again, and I'm still just like, So why is that? Well, I think they've accomplished their design goal for the case, but I don't like the fact that it seems to be very limited in what you can do with it. It's basically you mount the video card in the front, upright. Okay, so it's kind of like where is it? Let's see if it'll give me a good picture. Okay, well I think this sort of demonstrates it. So the video card is almost left to its own to be like intake, and then you have basically rails on the back to put your AIO and fans on. I would not suggest using an air cooler with this because it's sandwiched together to the point where really you're pretty limited to just AIOs. That's pretty much what you got. I like the fact that it's compact, but even though you can fit 6 fans in it, I'm not sure how that's going to work. I feel like either all the fans in the back are going to have to be exhaust, or if you do intake, you're going to run the risk of exhausting air directly out the back and then pulling some of that air right back in. Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe I'm making that up. But it just seems weird to me that your intake and exhaust could be right next to each other. You could also just exhaust, period, which probably will perform well enough. But I don't like, and I've said this, I believe I said this in the previous video, if you look at it from here, there's no air moving there. Maybe if your AIO has a fan on the AIO, like some of the, like the Arctic 3 unit or Arctic 2 units, they both have like little fans on them. Maybe that moves a little air in your main chamber there to kind of get over the VRMs. But other than that, like I'm a bit confused as this just looks like it's going to be a giant dead zone here a little bit. There's not really enough room to mount a nice fan on there. You could probably put like an 80 mil fan, but my God, like I hate 80 mil fans, so I'm not really a fan of that. It is on your desk going to be more compact than a typical case, potentially, because it is, a little bit on the narrow side. It is taller and it's narrower, which means I'm a little bit almost worried it's a little tip top heavy. I don't think that's that big of a concern. They've got trash can shaped cases, so it's probably not that big a deal. But I don't know if I just don't think I think the layout's kind of a deal breaker for me. I think I guess what would you call it? The insert card here for the PCIe cable. So that's all right, I guess. But the cable coming down kind of looks, I don't think it looks the best. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe this is just one that's not for me, and that's fine. But I would highly recommend to be careful. If you're looking at this case and you think this is the business, understand, you need to be considering maybe what AIO to get, so that way you get something that at least maybe moves a little bit of air in here, or kind of have that planned out. Know that your GPU is going to go up front and be mounted upright, and understand that all the fans basically are going to end up on the back. So that's the world you're living in. I could easily see, though, as long as you're accounting for those things, it would be maybe an alternative to have something that's kind of compact. I could easily see my Funko Pop, Godzilla, whatever. I'm stupid, I get it. I could see that getting its own little home up here, But I don't know. It just seems like this site is going to be a hot box, and I think that we got to look at reviews and see what they say about it. It is compact. I will definitely give it that. And it doesn't look all bad. I just don't know, man. I'm thinking cold. All right. Next thing. Intel. Oh, boy. So I just saw this slide and I'm like, yeah, I'm done. AI performance this fast versus Snapdragon. Graphics performance this fast versus previous gen. Core performance faster. So they're proclaiming it will be faster with nothing. Like, they have no idea. I just thought that was funny, and I'm like, yeah, whatever. Intel is in a weird position. They didn't really have much to announce, I think. I'm not even sure if they announced Battle Mage, but they sure as heck didn't announce Arrow Lake. We know that Arrow Lake is coming. They made no real, I don't think, announcements to it that I'm aware of. Maybe. I have to go back and look, but it's not going to be available anytime soon, right? They're definitely getting beat to the market by AMD with the 9000 series. I still think that Arrow Lake should be good, and that's the one that we're really interested in, because that'll be your performance laptop, desktop CPU. But we'll see. Like, I just think if they're producing graphs like this, then they may be in trouble, because we're going to need something more substantial than faster. And they kind of got their stuff down here, but it doesn't really. I mean, if they had a number, they would post it, right? If it was worth it. So that's that deal. Last thing, and we'll wrap up this video. Thank you for hanging in there with me this long. If you have, I've literally got dry mouth and I'm tired of talking. I will say, last thing, AI. Good grief. I am sick of hearing about AI from these companies. Good God. Like, AI. Everything is AI. Oh, my God. I'm so sick of hearing about it. Go ahead and build the robots and take over the world already. Jesus. You'd think that nobody can talk about anything else. And what really sucks is the reason why NVIDIA is not on this list is because that's all they did. They got their keynote and they went on this 2-hour something about look at how great we are, AI and everything. And I didn't watch it. But I'm like, yep, I am not shocked. They just talked about how, they're just raking in the money. They can do whatever they want, right? I am just shaking my head. I get it. They're making billions each month. But good God, I'm tired of hearing about AI. I'm hearing about it at work now, and man, I am AI tired. I want to move out into the sticks. That's kind of how I got. Maybe the robots won't find me. When the time comes, I will be safe. Anyway, so that's the other thing I'm really cold on. I don't mind them mentioning AI, and I get it, like it's big money and stuff. But good gravy, man. I don't want to just hear about AI. show me what you're doing. Like, tell me what it does. How does it actually do something? AI performance, woo, okay, great, but you know, I still have to launch the AI. I still have to go into an app, have it do my dishes, like have it do my job, so I can sit at home and play video games or something. You know, I don't want to hear about more AI performance to do what exactly. All I've heard is that it's going to replace me, not help me. So, like, all right, that's well, I say that I don't think AI can ever truly replace somebody per se. At some point, somebody's got to tell it what to do, or it just sits there. You know, it's not a self-doing thing. If I never open ChatGPT never does anything. So, you know, I don't know exactly how far this will go, but I know that's if there is a limitation, that's probably a limitation. Which it's good that maybe there's even any limitation, because, you know, if you sort of look off far into the future, I mean, it kind of gets to the point where it's like, well, robots can do a lot of stuff really fast. So anyway, yeah, I don't know. It's just funny. I was just so tired of hearing about AI. I'm like, I just, whatever. Anyway, so that's what's hot and what's not. I would say definitely go check out Gear Seeker's video. I thought it was pretty humbling. Like he got real emotional there about having a case of his name on it. Thought that was kind of cool. And Montech seems to be killing it. So that's not a bad place to go check out for cases. Man, Lian Lee 207-217. Awesome. Like, really, really cool. I think the 207 and every one of the content creators that went by there was like, this 207, have you seen this 207? They were like, this one they're interested in because it's $80 and it seems to do all the things. So they were like kind of hype on that. The 217 is just, again, it you can't go wrong. It's a 216 with wood. I mean, you know, with slightly bigger fans and filters. Can't really go wrong there. Antec had some really cool cases. mITX cases really good. Zen 5, looking like we expected. Drop-in replacement for your current AM5 motherboard. You know, the only, I would say, thing about it is, I don't know if the performance jump from Zen 4 to Zen 5 is enough for you to think about dropping the money for it. Probably not. Zen 5 X3D might be if you're gaming. That would be something to kind of keep your eyes open for. Lian Lee Sup 01, not sold on it. AI, good God, stop already. Intel, your marketing sucks. Or, well, I say it sucks. I mean, you know, it's just, this slide is killing me. So it's faster. All right, guys, thank you again for watching. If you would leave a like, leave a subscribe maybe. We'd love to see you back around when I get the time to make a video and just ramble on about stuff. You know, pour a cold one for me, and we'll see you in the next one.